So this is Harish from Alphite Learnings. I'm here to explain and give a brief introduction about web development for the beginners level. So the session will be for 7 days from today to the next 6 days. So I will be your instructor for the next 6 days also. So hope you're all fine and safe. Without any delay, we'll start our session. So sorry for the delay. So this will be our agenda for the next 50 minutes. The session will be about 1 hour. The first 50 minutes, I'm going to cover those topics, and last 10 minutes will be our interaction session. So that if you have any questions, you can raise in your chat box so that I will be answering your questions. Right? So the first thing we are going to see about the basic and introduction about web design. Right? Then the second thing is we are going to see about what is web development and what is the introduction part of the web development. Then the third thing we are going to discuss is about what are all the skills and responsibilities for a web designer and a web developer. Right? Then the third is about skills, responsibilities for web designer and web developer. Then the fourth one is we are going to discuss about web development process. What are the process available to develop web page or a website or a web application? Then the final one is what is the difference between a web designer and a web developer? So these are all the topics which I am going to cover to the next 50 minutes for this session. So the first thing we are going to discuss about web design. Okay, we all know about a basic or without knowing what is web design. I'm here to explain what is web design. Okay, web design is nothing but the term itself defines what is web design. It is nothing but it's absolutely a designing part of our website or a web application, right? So the first point I have mentioned here is about web design refers to the design of websites. It is absolutely designing part of a website which are all displayed on the internet. Okay. In the meanwhile, web design is about subset of a web development. Without designing a web page, web development is not at all possible. Why means web design is about a person who is having its own idea. If I'm a person, I'm having my own idea to develop a website. It may be for an organization like school, college, or corporate. It may be for a personal resources or personal things. We may have multiple ideas for developing a website, right? So what this design part will ensure is it will give a clear idea about our website, right? So what will be the web content? What will be the logo? What will be the header part? What will be the footer? And where all it located in my website. My logo will be in the left side, and my contents will be in the middle portion, and my header will be in the top portion, and the footer may be in the bottom space. So this is what a human idea will have, right? So this idea will converted into a design part, right? Whatever the ideas I have, that will represent in a pictorial representation by using different designing tools is called as web design, right? So this web design involves creating and designing the website's look and feel. It is absolutely about creating and designing the website's look and feel, how it will looks and how the end user will feel about the web design. Okay. Then the third point is about what are all the different aspects involved for designing a web page. The first one is layout design. What will be the layout for my web design? And what are all the color combination I am going to give for my website? And what are all the font size I'm going to represent in my website? And what are all the graphical design, and what are all the web page interactions and the animation, and so on and so. So the designing includes different aspects. I have mentioned you all the things. The first thing is layout design, which will give a clear cut layout for my website. Then the second thing is about clear color combination. What are all the colors I'm going to use? Third one is about fonts. Fourth one is graphic design and web interactions and animations. Then the fourth one is about whatever the websites we are seeing under www dot, all are designed by a web designer, because before a developer is going to develop a website or a web application, a web designer roles and responsibilities is to give a clear cut idea and a layout about what the developer is going to develop. Okay. Then the final thing is about the design layout is used for building the user experience for the website. Here, user experience is nothing but the overall experience of a person using a product such as a website or a web application. Okay, if I am a user without knowing any knowledge about the website I'm going to visit, or the web application that we are going to visit, should be give a clear cut idea. So what they need, what they value with us, and what are their abilities. So all those things we have to capture, and we have to represent a great attractive web design is all about user experience. Because every user, I may have different thoughts, you guys may have different thoughts, but it should satisfy all the person thoughts in a single web design, right? Hope you understand about what is web design and what are all the different aspects that includes in a web designing, and what are all the fields that a user may expect after developing a website. So to be very simple, we all know that an architect role and responsibility. What an architect will do before I'm going to construct a house or a building, an architect who will give a design and draws a plan of our building, isn't it? So he will or she will give a design, a pictorial representation, a plan of our building, right? That is the role of an architect. Similarly, what a web designer is also going to do, he or she will give a model layout of our website, which I am going to develop. Okay. Hope this example will understand you about web design. A web designer is also similar to an architect. A web designer will give a design model or a design layout of our website before a web developer starts coding part and developing it. So this is all about web design. So while coming to the job opportunities and web design, we have lot of job available in the market in the industry, like application designer and developer, the game designer and developer. So in this game designer and developer, web designer plays a very important role for designing a game. See, we have lot of game applications which are available in our Play Store or web applications, whatever may be. The look and feel, the idea about the game, the animation, the annotations, all the things are made by a designer. Without a designer, a game cannot be possible. Then the third one is multimedia programmer and multimedia specialist, then SEO specialist. Here, SEO is nothing but search engine optimization. So, search engine optimization is about when I develop a website, it should be accessible easily to everyone. We should give a clear cut access specifications to our website. So, thus comes under SEO specialist. Then UX designer, UX researcher, web content manager. These are all the top job roles which are available in the market for a designer. So I have mentioned very few here. We have lot of job opportunities related to a web design. To be very simple in to be very technical term, web design is all about giving a design model before a developer is going to develop a website or a web application, right? When we'll move on to the next thing. So what are all the tools required for a web design? So if I'm a web designer, I collected the information from my user. So what you are going to develop in your website, and I want to give in a design format using some design principles with using such tools, right? These are all the top 8 tools which are available for designing or website. So the first thing is WordPress, second one is InVision Studio, Photoshop, Proof Hub, Sketch, Adobe. Hope you guys will know about this. I think so, because these are all plays a very good role for a designer who is going to design a web page before it's developing. Okay, if I'm a web designer, okay, what are all my roles and responsibilities, and what are all the skills I need to be have to become a web designer? So we'll start with the responsibilities of a web designer. So he or she might able to design a website. Okay, then he or she want to produce a sample sites. If I given an idea which should match my idea with related of some sample sites available. Okay. Then the third one is meeting with client to discuss requirements and project progress. If I am a client, if you guys are a web designer, you want to meet with us to discuss about the requirements. What are all the requirements we need? Here, the requirement is nothing but what are all the things I am going to implement in my website. I need to discuss with you guys, and you have to able to design a website. Then the fourth one is about demonstrating and receiving feedback about draft sites. You must able to demonstrate what you are done, and you have to absolutely responsible for receiving the feedback from the customer side, so that for it will help for improvisation of your web design and to get appealing with a great attractive design. Here appealing is nothing but attraction. Okay, so you must need keeping up to date with recent technology and software developments. So why we need to update means the current scenario in the industry or a corporate, they may keep on changing the technology or the software tools or designing tools which they are going to design a website, right? So we are able to adapt with the technologies, and we are able to learn the technology, and we have to keep ourselves updated. So this point will be the major responsibility for a web designer. Then, creating products that are user friendly, effective, and appealing. So, what is user friendly? What is effective? And what are all appealing things? It is all about, see, if when we are going to visit a website, we should able to understand. Okay, even though we are not knowing much more about a website or a web application, it should be easily accessible. It should easily interact with the system and the person who is sitting in front of the system. It should be effective. Effective is nothing but with great functionalities and great moments of the web design. And appealing is nothing but it is concerned about beauty or an attractive or very imaginative, something like that. Very imaginative or attractive or very beautiful web design. Okay. Then the next point is about image editing. They are responsible to edit the image in different aspects. Maybe the images editing to high resolution or highly visible without any blur or without any how to say without any distractions in the images, something like that. Then the final point is about working as part of multidisciplinary team. This is all about if a corporate is having multiple project mates, they will have multiple websites to develop. They will have multiple web application to demonstrate about what the industry is going to plan. A web designer should be responsible to work in a multidisciplinary team. Okay, these are all the responsibilities of a web designer. Hope you guys are understand what is about web designer and what are the responsibilities should be the web designer. Let us talk about what are all the skills required for a designer. Okay, I should be very imaginative person. Okay, because just a user requirements will about his idea, right? What are all the ideas he is having? He will just convey to a designer. He will design a layout. So he or she might be very imaginative and creative person to become a this will be the major and very important rule to become a web designer. Then patience. Patience is about when we are an imaginative person, when we are a creative person, absolutely we should be patient for designing or website with the imaginative and creativity personalities. So this will help us to bring out an excellent layout for the end users or the user or the requirement from the corporate or an industry. Okay, so then the fourth one is about attention to detail. What is attention to detail? It's all about we should be attentive to the requirements and we have to proceed within a detailed layout because the website should be able to see in an attentive and detailed manner for a designer to the end users. So he may she have the analytical skills, communication skills, and technical ability. Technical ability is nothing but accessing the tools. I shown you the tools, right? So this all tools will comes under a technical tool for designing a website, right? This you may well versed in Sketch, you may well versed in Adobe Chrome Weaver, but a user requirements will specify some tool. I need from WordPress, I need from Bluefish, I need from Google Web Designer, right? We are able to adopt with the tool and we have to adapt with the technical abilities to design a very attractive web design for a web page or a website. So, so far we have discussed about what is a web design and what are all the rules and responsibilities for a web designer. In the meanwhile, we discuss about what are all the skills required for a web designer. And we have seen about what are all the job roles available in the market for a designer. Hope you guys got a clear-cut idea about web design and so forth. So next we are going to move about web development. Okay. So we have seen about design part of a website or a web application. What this web development will do. Let me explain you clearly. So web development is all about included web programming languages. See, I'm a web designer. I have created my website layout and design. Okay, the web development process involves the developer is going to convert that layout into functionalities. Okay, if a person gives a layout to me, a programmer is going to convert into a functionalities using web technologies or web programming languages. This is all about web development, right? So this is all about web development. As I said, web development is about building website or web application and deploying on the web. Okay, the web development is all about building a website or web application. Person gives a layout, a design. So web development includes building a website or web application. So what are all this process involves in the web development? It involves various web languages and software tools for developing a website. As I said, web development is going to involve with web languages and certain tools. Then the third point is a website can be either a simple, I may have one page, or I have lot of web pages. When you view a website on the web in a browser, the process which are all involved is called about web development. See, I may have one page site, I may have complex number of pages. All the process which are we are seeing in a website is all the process involved is called about web development. To be very simple, web designer, the web designer is going to gather the information from a user. Based on the user requirements, a web designer is going to give a design layout. A web development process or a web developer is going to develop a website based on the layout using some web technologies or web languages or web programmings. Okay, this is all about web development. Okay, web development I'm breaked into three parts. Okay, one is front end development, the second one is web back end development, then the third one is about full stack development. So what is this front end, back end, full stack? I said it's all about development of a web design. What all the designer gives me, I'm going to develop using a program languages. Now what I'm saying this front end, back end, full stack. It's all about a development process will contains lot of process. Okay, web development is nothing but as I said, it's all about using various web languages. In web development, we have two development process. One, we may develop a website. Okay, we may develop a web application. Now, what is website? Okay, a website is a set of universal accessible pages. Okay, to be very simple, we all know that you guys will have aware of our alphabet.net, right? When I go to Google Chrome, I'm just entering alphabet.net. Okay, it gives me a page. It throws me a page, right? It's all about gives me an information about the fight. What are all the courses available? What are all the running courses? And what we are all doing? What are all the functionalities we are presently announced and what are all the teammates we are available and how to contact us. Those informations are available in alphite.net, right? So this is called as a website. Okay, a website is set of universal accessible. Anyone can access in a single domain. Okay, alphite.net is a single domain. When I log in and I see alphite.net, I will get the same information. When you guys see alphite.net, you will also get the same information, right? This is called website. Okay, typically they are informational in nature. Okay, when we know about a company, when we know about a product, what we will do, if you know the site, we will enter the site in our browser and we will able to capture what are all the things they are going to do and what are all the running stages, what they are going to present. These things we can able to capture in the website, right? It's only about information of the particular organization. This is what about website. Then what is a web application? Okay, web application is nothing but it is an interactive page. Okay, it allows user to add inputs and get data. Okay, so I said website is about I'm entering a website, it gives me an information about the organization. Whereas web application, you can interact with the pages. Okay, the real-time example is the first thing is Google Drive. All the Google products are very essential and very great example for a web application. I will take an example of Google Drive. Okay, what Google Drive will do, it's need an authentication, right? Here authentication is nothing but we will enter an email and a password. All right, if I enter email ID and password, it gets logged into my account. Okay, what I can do with my Google Drive, I can save my documents, I can save my images, I can save my videos, I can save what are all the files I need to save there, right? We can access anywhere from a browser via a internet, right? The second thing, this is the best example for a web application. The second web application example is Facebook. We all know about Facebook. We are all using Facebook when we know how to access, right? So what is the example behind web application? See, when I logged in to my Facebook account, it shows a different informations, right? When you guys access your Facebook, it gives a different information, right? how this how the term interactive is includes here means when I click friends, it will show my friends list, right? When I click on notifications, it gives me notifications, right? What are all the notifications I received? Okay, so I am a person and or we are the person who are giving a request. The request is about clicking on the icons like notification. We have a bell icon for friends, we have a group users icon, right? I am clicking, my click is a request. On click of a request, it's showing all the items which are available in a request field, in a notification field. That is called about response. Okay, the page with all this request and response is called about interaction. The web application which are all interacted with the web users or end users is called about web application. Okay, hope you guys are understand what is website and what is web application. I will repeat you again. Website is about informational in nature. Okay, if I am giving a site, it throws the information about the organization, right? Nothing else on that. Okay, I can see what are all the functionalities behind that organization. Whereas web application can interact with the users are called web applications, right? So this is the concept behind website and web application. Both website development and web application developments process comes under web development. Okay, so let us see about There's front end, back end, and full stack. What is front end? Okay, the front end of a website is the part that users interact with. See, if I am seeing a site, right? If alpha.net is there, I'm seeing the site, I'm seeing that page, right? That were developed by a front end developer. Okay, the visionary part or the view part of a web page or a website are designed by a person called front end developer, and this process is called as front end. Okay, a front end web developer is the person who implements web design through coding languages. Got it? Hope you understand this point. See, very first we gathered information from my user. A designer enters, he gives a design layout, and the third person who is coming as front-end web developer, he is going to implement the web design through coding languages. Okay, this is called front-end and the role of the front-end developer. So what are all the skills a front-end developer will use? Okay, the very first, it's very important technology, web technology, all the corporate industries will use for designing a website or implementing a website or implementing a web applications. Okay, it's none other than HTML and CSS. Okay, about this HTML and CSS, we are going to see detailed and elaborately in our upcoming sessions. Just I am giving a basic intro. HTML is nothing but hypertext markup language. So it is a language, to be simple, it is a language to design our website or design our web application. And CSS is nothing but cascading style sheets. Okay, HTML gives a structure of my website. Okay, I can give a content to my web page or a website or a web application. Okay, HTML part will do this. What the CSS will do means it will give the styles. So what kind of color I want to use, what kind of styles, font size I am going to use. These are all comes under CSS. Then second thing is JavaScript and jQuery. So I have done with HTML and CSS. What this JavaScript and jQuery does, if a web application is having, we have a buttons, right? Save, submit, delete, cancel, right? On click of save, what will happen? It will save all the necessary fields. Okay. So if, for example, I'm having a registration form. Okay. The registration form says name, email, phone number. Okay, this field I can create with HTML and I can design with CSS. Okay, what else after entering the name and the mobile number and the email? I click on submit on save, right? What happens on click of save? If I click on save, all the details I have mentioned, it will saves, right? Thus, functionality parts comes under this JavaScript and jQuery. Okay. Anyway, we are going to detailed and in a description manner we are going to see in upcoming session. I'm just giving about a basic idea about HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and jQuery. Right? Using HTML and CSS, I got a structure of my website. Using JavaScript and jQuery, I'm going to perform what are all the functionalities need to be executed in my website or a web application, right? Then the third one is JavaScript frameworks. We have some certain frameworks in JavaScript like AngularJS, React.js, Node.js. Hope you guys are heard about these technologies. Those things in the front-end developers they can use. Okay, the version control and cheat. What is version control? If I am doing the code, if you guys are doing, a person is working in an organization, front end developers assume that two persons are working. Okay. If I am also working on the same code, you are also working on the same code means the latest version of the code, which is the current version of the code, we will get by this version control. This is all about version control. to get a latest version of the code or latest working piece of the code will be managed in a specialized area called version control. Okay, this is all about version control. Then what is responsive design? Responsive design is about, see, people will have lot of gadgets. Gadgets is nothing but if I'm seeing a website or a web application in a mobile, you guys will see in a laptop or desktop or a tab, right? It should adjust. When I see in my laptop, the design will be in certain range. When I see in my mobile, it will adapt to the mobile and design will be structurized to my gadget. If I use mobile, the design will be adjustable to my mobile. If I see in my laptop, the design will be adjustable to my laptop or tab or desktop. This is called responsive design. Okay. Responsive design is all about, as I said, if I developed a piece of code means that code should be responsible in wherever gadget I use. If I see in mobile, if I see in laptop, if I see in tablet, the design will not be get collapsed. It should be in a great manner and attractive designs. Okay, the front end developer should able to test the web pages what they have developed. If they got any error, they have to debug. The debug is nothing but if I got any error, if when I click on my content or when I click a button, if it shows any error, the person should able to debug to solve the error, to solve the error. Then the final thing is problem solving. It's all about the mentality, the capability of a front-end developer should be able to solve the problem. The statement, whatever the problem statement raised by a testing team, they should able to solve. Okay, these are all comes under front-end part, and these are all the skills required for front-end developments. Okay, first thing we saw about front-end. So what next we'll move on to backend. Okay, what is this backend? So I will explain you clearly. Okay, front end I have designed, I have inserted buttons. Okay, so backend part is about server side deployment. Okay, or development. What this backend person will do means, so as I said, I have saved there what I have, the things I have saved. I have saved my name, my mobile number, my email ID, right? Whatever the things we have mentioned in our registration page, that all stored in a database, right? If I give my name, email ID, my phone number, that things will save in a database, right? Meanwhile, the person who are all submitting the registration process, that will save in a database. Okay, the database, the person who is going to handle the database activities are going to called as backend. Okay, the process involved in server side is called backend, and the person who is going to manage or going to handle this database parts are called as backend. Okay, this is the most popular programming languages the backend persons will do: PHP, Ruby, Python, Node.js, and Java. So for the database connectivity, they will use MySQL, Oracle, and servers, SQL servers. Okay, this is all about backend skills. Okay, hope you guys are understand what is web development and what is the process we have discussed so far. We have discussed about what is website and what is web application development. I have given you a differentiated what is website and what is web application. For this development process, we have three main concentrations. One is front end and another one is back end. I have explained you what is front end and what are all the skills required for front end developers. And I have explained you clearly about what is back end and what are all the skills required for backend developers. Okay. Then the third one is about full stack developers. Full stack developers is nothing but the person who is going to handle Both front-end process and back-end process are called full stack. Okay, if I can handle front-end, I can also handle the database servers, then I am the full stack developers. And these are all the job roles available in the market, which will play a huge place for this development. Front-end developer, back-end developer, and full stack developer. This is the fields available for development of a web applications or a website. Okay, then we'll move on to the process available for web development. Okay, so far we've seen what is web design and what is web development and what are the process involved in them. I mean, who are all the persons who are going to involve for development process. Now I'm going to explain what is the web development process actually. Okay, so web development process involves, the first step is decide a purpose. Okay, for what purpose we are going to develop a website. Okay, we should clear that. What is the purpose? Okay, it may be a personal use, it may be for an organization specified, it may be organization means it comes a school, for a school or for a college or for a corporate or an industry. So for what purpose we are going to develop a website, that we should decide. Then planning. So planning is nothing but how we are going to execute de- this decision. Okay, I have decided my purpose and what are all the necessary actions or what are all the necessary plans to be taken to my decision or to my purpose. That all comes under planning. Okay, then the third one, now the web design will come. Okay, I said in the first slide, right? First point, subset of web development. So this is what, okay, this is what the design, web design is comes under. Okay, so I decided my purpose, I have planned for how to execute my decision and how to replicate my purpose. The third point is absolutely about, I have decided, I have planned, I need a design layout. My idea will convert it into a layout. Okay, that will comes under third point. Then the fourth point is about gathering contents. Okay, simply we are not going to develop a website, right? There will be a purpose. For that purpose, we need or we should gather some contents which should ensure our website, which should ensure our product. Okay, what are all the contents I have given, which will be absolutely gives a clear cut idea about our website. For that, we need to gather the contents for our web applications or our websites or our web development. Okay, this is what about gathering the content. Then the fourth point is about development. I have decided, planned, I got design, I gathered my content. Now development process will come. What this development process is about, absolutely, a developer will develop what are all the based on the layout designed and what are all the contents they have. Okay, this is what comes under development. Then the fifth point is testing. So testing is playing a very huge role in the market. Once the developer is developed, what the testing team will do means, the developers develop the sites. Testing team will test each and every piece and each and every part of the website it is correctly working or not, because it should satisfy the customer. It should satisfy the user requirements. So based on the user requirements, a designer gives a layout, a developer develops the website, and the testing team will match the user requirements. Absolutely, the developer is developed based on the user requirements or not. And what are all the functionalities should be played in my website. All the things have comes under testing. Okay, this is what a testing team will do. If testing team will specify any errors or any functionality is missing or the functionality is not working properly, means he or she should be responsible to debug the error or rectify the error. Okay, then what the next? Have developed, testing team said everything is perfect. We are going to deploy or we are going to host the website. Okay, the person will going to deploy my website. Okay, then we all know that marketing after deployment, we are going to marketing and marketing our website or marketing our product. Then the maintenance. Maintenance is all about a person will buy our product or buying our website or buying our web application. A person will give a certain informations like I need this color, I need this font, I need this color specification or this font combination. I need a brief introduction about this. All those things comes under maintenance. Okay, or it may be organized specified, is maybe user specified. All the things comes under maintenance. This is the entire process or entire life cycle for developing a website or web application. This pictorial representation or this flow chart will ensure the development process. Hope you guys will understand this process. So, what are all the responsibilities for a web developer? Okay, developer, as I said, it may be a website development, it may be a web application development. So here I mentioned a few roles and responsibilities, skills for a web developer. So let us talk about the responsibilities of a web developer. The first thing I have mentioned here is about creating a website and user interface by using standard HTML and CSS. Okay, the person who is going to develop a website, he or she might be responsible for the website layout, and it should be user interface with standard languages called HTML and CSS. Okay, then second point is integrate the data from various backend services and databases. Okay, they have the capability and they have should responsible to integrate various data for my web application or my website. He or she might be integrate the data from various resources and databases to integrate, right? Then the third one is gathering and refine specification. Okay, he or she might be responsible to gather the information, okay, and specification which a person needs or a technical needs. Okay, then the fourth one is create and maintain software documentation. Okay, they are responsible once they have developed the website, they have to give a clear cut documentation regarding their website and what are all they have developed in for web application. Okay, then the fifth point is about be responsible for maintaining, expanding and scaling our site. What is this maintaining? They may change the requirements. Okay, they may change the color, they may change the font, or they may change the position. If my logo is from the left side, means they will change the position of the logo. They may change the color combination, something like that, right? All those things they have to maintain and expand the scaling of their site. They should be responsible. Okay, then the last before us, cooperate with web designers to match visual design intent. This is a very important point because a developer is going to develop based on the web design. Absolutely, they want to cooperate with the web designer to match visual design. Okay, then the last point is absolutely about emerging technologies, the current technologies. What are all the current technologies available in the market? We should adapt with that and we to take part of that activities and operations. So these are all some responsibilities of web developer. And on the right side, I have mentioned what are the skills required for a web developer. So as I said, it is all about HTML, CSS skills, analytical, logical things, Responsive design I have mentioned in the previous screen also, and I have mentioned what it is also. Then the last three all JavaScript, interpersonal skills, and testing debugging skills. All those things I have covered in this development process, testing and debugging skills in the previous skills, right? So these are all the responsibilities for a web developer and what are all the skills required for the web developer. Hope you guys are understood what is web design and what are the web development process. So the last thing we are going to see about what a web designer versus web developer. Okay, this is our last part of our session. So this is all about what does a web designer and web developer do. So web designer will be creative in nature. Okay, what is creative? Based on the user requirements, the person should be an imaginary person or a creative person. They have to give a layout for this is the main functionality behind this web design. Whereas what a web developer will do, a web developer are more technical in nature. What is technical? Creative is nothing but they are going to give a creative or imaginary part of a layout. Whereas the web developer should be very technical on how to apply the design layout into a technological oriented. Okay, this is what the first thing about web designer and a web developer. Then the second point, web design refers to aesthetic elements. Aesthetic, it's nothing but attractive elements. They are going to use an attractive elements. Okay, whereas what the web developer will do, web development refers to building user-friendly website based on client specification. Okay, user-friendly is nothing but everyone should able to access the site without any drawbacks. This is all about web developers hand. Third one, as I said, what they do, they transform ideas into visually attractive designs. Okay, I'm having my own idea. The web designer will do a visually attractive design. Okay, whereas web developer will transform those design into fully functional design. Okay, design will be in a static, right? Where will be the logo, what will be the menus, what will be the header, what will be the footer, and where it will be the positions of the header, footer, logos, some things, right? The designer will give the visual design. The design is transforms into a functional website. Okay, if I click on contact us in my website, it will show my contact us details, right? When I click my R team, what are all the teams involved in the website? On click of my teams, it shows my team details, right? That is called about functionalities of my website. Then the fourth point is look and feel. Okay, the look and feel of the website. Whereas a web developer will give the functionalities as well as how it works. As I said, when I click a button, when I click a icon, or when I click a menu in my website, what will be the functionalities? What will be the action will be performed in my site? This is comes under web developer. The last one is designer understands the usability. They should understand the usabilities from a user. What are the uses for our website, right? Whereas web developer understands the functionalities and the compatibility. So anywhere, everywhere that should be accessible without any interactions or drawbacks in that site. The web developer is the one and only responsible to understand the functionalities and the compatibility. Compatibility is nothing but wherever we can use whatever systems, desktop, laptop, tablet, mobiles. Okay, it should be adapt with the environment. It should not give any restrictions to my website. Okay, guys, this is all about the web designer versus web developer. What the web designer is actually do and what a web developer will actually do. Okay, this is all about web development. Okay, so for hope you guys got an idea about what is web design and what is web development and what are all the roles and responsibilities for a designer, for a developer, and what are all the responsibilities and skills required for a designer and for a developer. Okay, so far I have given a brief introduction about the web development. So in the upcoming session, we are going to see about the programming languages for developing a website. As we said, we are going to talk about HTML and CSS. Okay. In the upcoming session, I'm going to explain you what is HTML and how to use the HTML codings and the CSS part. The last two sessions will be the demonstration, and I'm going to create a website with all the specified things and what are all the things we learned in HTML and CSS. With all the things, I'm going to demonstrate a website using the HTML and CSS.